Hello, good evening and welcome to The Hard Truth. My name is Nana Akosia Kunedu Asante Samuels, and we are proudly brought to you by Murphy Homes and Dawa Industrial City. We are doing something slightly different today. How is the economy to you? How are you feeling it in your pocket? So we are coming to your homes. Tell us, what should the government know? Let's see if we can forge a way forward. So you're watching The Hard Truth, and we're coming to you from your homes, from the street. Tell us, how is the economy? And we have a gentleman here. Hello, how are you?
Good.
Welcome to The Hard Truth. My name is Akosia. What's your name?
I'm Derek.
Derek.
Yes.
So tell me, how are you feeling the economy? I mean, is it great? Do you have any comments, anything you want to share?
Well, I think that it's quite too early for us to judge the government. I mean, with the economy, with the news we are hearing, particularly me, I think that it's picking up gradually. It may take some time, but I think that we surely will get there.
Picking up. So what do you do? Which sector of the economy do you work?
I'm into cleaning service.
Okay, so how is so it's a private business?
Yes, it's a
So you're an
private
entrepreneur.
business. Yes.
So how is that been for you? I mean, is it good? Are you getting more contracts from people?
As you can see, I'm from work and I'm going to chase for another one.
Okay.
So to me, gradually it's picking up.
What advice would you give to government? What would you tell them?
I think that with the promise of cutting all corners for appointees, I mean government appointees, to steal money should be increased. It should really work hard towards that, so that we could have enough in the system. Everybody would feel comfortable. That's what I think.
So how confident are you that our economy will be fixed? I mean, 100% at the end of the year?
100% no. I don't think it's going to be fixed 100% by the end of this year. But I know that in the coming years, it could get better.
So do you trust our president and Nadi to take Ghana to the promised land?
I trust him.
You trust him?
Yes, I do.
All right. Thank you so much for talking to that. Your name again?
Derek.
Derek. That's Derek. He says, well, he trusts Nana and things will get better on a scale of 1 to 100. He's not quite sure, but yes, let's see. With Nana, he took us there. You're still watching The Hard Truth and we're still seeking your opinions. What do you think? Is the economy booming? Let's have your views. How is Ghana faring? I mean, in your opinion.
It's moving. It's a little better now.
A little better. How was it?
It's progressing a little bit.
Edwin, how was it 2 years ago? I mean, it's
2 years
better
ago.
now, so that means it was horrible some time back.
In every economy, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs.
Yep.
Yeah. We just happen to find ourselves at the stage of the cycle where we were down, and now we are moving up. We are not anywhere yet.
Right.
At least we are moving.
Okay. So is Nanado doing well?
Yeah, he's doing well.
He's doing well. All right. Thank you, Edwin, for talking to The Hard Truth. You're still watching The Hard Truth, and I have here with me Maxwell. Now, Maxwell, tell me, where do you work?
Yeah, I'm a business owner.
Hey.
Own a cleaning company.
So do you have like contracts from government or
As
some
of now, we don't have
agencies?
any.
Why is that?
Because we
You
are
don't want to
growing.
compete with the bigger ones?
We are growing. We want to grow when you get to that extent. And you and I know that currently there is this monopoly in the system that is only Zoomla always doing that. And I was very much impressed when the YEA brought a program that I think in the middle of May or June they will be, breaking that monopoly so that every company who wishes to enter into that, surely we shall also go in there.
So when people are coming into Ghana and they go to some filthy areas, it's an eyesore. That's a challenge you've observed, hence you trying to correct that. What advice would you give to perhaps the government? You know, you talked about monopoly and all of that, but what advice again can you give to them to make sure that Ghana is a clean country and not Accra only? You know, the focus is in Accra, other areas are suffering. So what advice would you give to government?
Yeah, the reason why the main focus is in Accra is when you go to the other regions, I'm not saying they are not dirty. There's no dirty there. But when you come to Accra, you can see that Accra is very dirty.
It's too much. The filth is here.
Too much.
So it should be tackled there first.
Yes. So the government should, invest, should prioritize the sanitation aspect of this country. You get my point? You hear when they are reading budgets, you hear of this is so and so, this is so and so. But the cleaning, the sanitation aspect, the budget is very small.
But do you think it's just about cleaning? What of expertise? I'm sure Zoom Lion and these other big cleaning companies have special expertise. So what, someone like you, Michael, right? Maxwell. What expertise do you have that government to say, okay, I can hand over this huge contract to you when it comes to sanitation?
You see, this time around, we add technology to whatever we do. There are, talking about the gutters, we have this vacuum
cleaners.
Yes, but this time, this one is very big. It looks like the one that they use to pull the toilet. That one, it even sweeps the road and washes the road, and also can drain those sand or those things which have filled the gutters. It can, when you bring it.
But what of we talk about recycling, reuse, and all of that? What of that? Do you have any areas or expertise in that aspect?
Currently, we have these waste management plants. What Zoom Lion has built.
You have the same thing in your company?
No, we don't have.
Okay.
But when we take care of these gutters, definitely when we finish those waste, we will send them there. So they also treat it and it becomes beneficial.
Let's talk about funding. So I'm assuming you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
It's the business is yours. Let me ask you, do you need special or some more additional funding?
For that one, nobody will investing in the business. We will welcome that if the government is able to support us. But the little that we also can do to also help to, do that. Perhaps now the government is not funding us. We have to also do something for ourselves. We also, grow the business. So what my problem is, even if the government is not giving us the money, we should talk. As the other day he said at the concerning the interest rates with the banks. If the banks are able to calm down, their rates are able to calm down, so that we, the entrepreneurs, can also go in there, get some money, funds, and then invest in our business to also help and then solve these problems.
So overall, do you think our president is doing well?
He's doing well.
He's doing well. All right. Thank you so much, Maxwell, for talking to the Aju. That's Maxwell. You're still watching The Hard Truth, and I have with me Yao Kwache. Yeah, welcome to The Hard Truth. So you're telling me you just came back from England 2 years ago?
From Canada.
Back there in Canada, you heard a lot of things like corruption, and this new government says it's going to fight it. In your opinion, is the government fighting corruption enough?
I believe the past government and the present government can only do their best. Obviously, there were certain loopholes and certain things that needs to be implemented, which is being done now. And I believe they can only do the best that they can. But I know that things are improving.
Okay, things are improving. In what sectors? Isn't that vague? So give me examples. In which sectors you see vividly or, visibly that this side is improved?
First of all, for my years of being out of the country, I realized it's only developers that are able to build properties. They will acquire land. But in Ghana, individuals are being able to put mansions everywhere. That's a big difference. That you don't have to actually take a loan to put up a house. You can work hard and do it.
Right, but we have some mortgage banks now.
There are some, and there are others. But I'm talking about the difference. Look at only developers and then looking at individuals
now.
Being able to do it. So there's a big change. And it shows that we can do it if we want to.
But yeah, really, 2 years back home, are you feeling it in your pocket? The economy, you are singing praise of the government, but are you really feeling it in your pocket?
I'm really doing. I definitely, I can't be blind to what's going on. But here's the thing, we have a new government that is trying to improve on what...
Is the government new? How many months? Everybody keeps saying that.
Is
it new? It's been a year and over.
Yes.
So are we still, on the new side?
Here's how I always explain, is that you can't expect miracles all of a sudden. That the new government is going to make things fall from the sky.
But they promised us that on the campaign platform.
But you know something, realistically, when you hit the ground running, you realize that it's not what you said initially. And things that needs to be implemented, things that needs to be done, are totally different what you said in the campaign. So obviously you come to the realization, listen, we have to do something. And I believe they're doing what they could.
But some people are saying, we should have maintained the past president, President Mahama. I mean, do you share the same view? Do you think that they said no improvement is still the same? So do you think that, we made a bad choice by electing a new president?
Choices are determined by, the citizens.
Right.
We choose. And if
in your opinion, what do you think? Do you think that we made the right choice?
I think we did. I think Mahama did the best that he could. His government really pulled all the necessary resources.
Really?
And obviously, Mahama is not the government.
Right.
He's a human being. And there are individuals who might do some few things.
But what of the allegations and counter allegations of corruption that we had during his tenure?
Everybody can say what they want to say. They can list and even accuse. But it's our judiciary system that will determine the outcome. Until it's proven, you can tell it.
Are you excited about the special prosecutor?
I'm happy. I mean, they've been talking about it, and we are going to see what he's going to do. And if he's able to plug the holes, and like he has promised, that we can actually do things that will stop us from taking loans from IMF and all these. I mean, that's my quotation. Then great. I mean, I've no worries with what he said, but we want to see it.
Right.
We really want to see what he's about.
So any advice to the government?
Do what you have to do. People will complain, and one thing I love is the minority. We can't erase the minority. They have to speak. We need the minority to excel.
Right.
Without the minority, we are not going to excel. If they keep their mouth shut, this nation is
So talking about the minority, they are complaining that the speaker doesn't give them the opportunity to air their views in Parliament. Yes. I mean, what's your take on that?
That's how they feel. And I think they should give them a voice. Definitely, somebody must listen to them. If that's how they feel, then they should be able to say, listen, let's sit down and let's see where the mistakes are being made, and then let's move on from there. I mean, we are all human beings, and the title politicians still, they're human beings, and they can sit down at the end of the day, have a cup of tea, and say, dude, we are friends. Let's sort our issues out.
But really, what do you do? You didn't tell me what you do. What?
I'm a real estate agent.
Oh,
yeah. So I'm all over the place.
I see.
I meet people.
And what's the name of the company? Maybe we could.
It's a Remax.
Say it again?
Remax.
Remax.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we want to get in touch with you, this free ad for you. Where can we find you?
We are at Roman Ridge Arcade.
Okay.
At Airport Residential area. We are on the first floor. So you come to Roman Ridge Arcade, you see us there.
Any contact line?
For all your property needs, you're looking at 0555 213 154.
055 213
0555 213 154.
Right.
All your property needs, buying and selling.
I hear you.
All over the world.
Thank you so much for talking to Hadi Yaukrachi. That's what he said. He said the economy is doing well, but the government can do better. Minorities should be given the opportunity to air their views in Parliament, and you are still watching The Hard Truth. You're still watching The Hard Truth, and we're proudly brought to you by Murphy Homes Tower, Industrial City and Pulse Fitness Ghana. I have here with me Adam Mensah. He's with New Times Corporation. So Adam, tell us really, how is the economy of Ghana? That's broad, but how is it?
I would say the economy of Ghana is doing well. Not too well, but I think it is better. And
how was it 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
It has improved, but not that drastic.
But you go to places and people are complaining, I'm not filling into my pocket. Why is that?
Yeah, I think it is a process. If you are reviving an economy or you are trying to get a very sound economy, you have those challenges. It will not be one-off. Right. It will be systematically. Politicians must be honest with the people and let the people know that we have a daunting task ahead of us, and it needs sacrifice. Right. It is about time that we also, the ordinary Ghanaians, begin to think that way and not let them deceive us. Because for me, I don't see that enjoyment within a small space of time. I know that we are made to believe it's going to happen. What I'll tell the politicians is that they are also a contributor to why we have not crossed this developing country, you know, handle that easily. They should curb corruption. You know, they are, most of the avenues will lose our taxes.
Right.
If I take my pay slip and I look at how much I pay as a tax, if I'd saved that money,
That'd be a lot for a house.
I would have done a lot for
I
myself.
know.
So they should be able to put in place the necessary mechanisms to block all those loopholes. You know, just recently there has been a lot of corruption allegations
right.
against some individuals. Some civil society or some
But
individuals think they have
is the
not
government,
been done.
Adam, is the government fast enough in tackling corruption? Now there is a special prosecutor in place. I mean, what's your take on that?
For me, I don't see the special prosecutor to be an extraordinary setup that is going to, you know, make the fight against corruption that fantastic. It's all boiled down to the will. You know, we have Attorney General, and Attorney General, you are aware, I've reported from court, I still report from court. Attorney General has been fighting people.
Right.
So the special prosecutor's role is with the Attorney General, and it doesn't lie with the special prosecutor to pronounce judgment that, hey, Osimesi, you took this, you are going into jail for 20 years. No, the special prosecutor will take the case to court. And these investigative bodies, investigative powers, other things, the Attorney General has it. And if the fight against corruption is not what you and I like, then it means that it is not about setting up an office or an institution, it is about the will. You understand? Because when we go to court and the cases are not investigated properly and the technicalities, you know, are not followed, it will be thrown out. You understand? Because these people who get themselves involved in this know how to get themselves out. So it is all about the will. So I'll urge the government to be swift, swoop on those who engage in corrupt practices.
But you are quite passionate, and I'm sure there are lots of people like you out there. What would you tell Ghana? Is there hope? Is there hope?
Yeah, I believe there is hope, you know. And if I look at the young leadership coming, you know, always when I listen to young politicians coming, I get that hope because I see a lot of them talk to issues than looking at periphery. You know, they talk about real issues, and some are learned. And we are moving to a certain generation of politicians who are academicians. You understand? And they have what it takes. And I believe that with the will to put Ghana first, with the will to see that, yes, let me do and make a name like what Kwame Nkrumah did, so that my name will be mentioned 20, 30 years when I'm not around. If they get into that spirit, have that verve, we can get there. It is doable because other countries have done it. And they are not superhumans. You know, it's all about putting the right things and getting on track. And I know that Ghana has a future. We have wonderful leaders. We shouldn't, you know, throw our hands in despair. There is hope for the future.
There is hope. You're still watching The Hard Truth. I have here Isaac Accra. Isaac, how are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
How is the economy? How is the economy of Ghana?
Well, they say it's growing, so that's positive. We're supposed to be one of the
They
fastest
say,
growing.
but what do you think? Is the economy growing for you?
Not as fast as I'd like it to grow. I'm doing a lot of investor liaison, looking for different deals for investors to invest in here in the country, and things don't seem to be picking up as much as it could be.
You're looking for investment opportunities.
Yes.
Okay. And you've not found any?
We found some, but they are small, so smaller than we need them to be.
But how much are you willing, or do you want to invest?
$1 million upwards is what investors usually tend to look for.
Okay.
In the sort of tech space.
And in which areas?
Tech and agriculture are the two main places.
Yeah, but agriculture is quite picking up in Ghana, so why can't you find a niche there to actually invest in?
It's picking up, but some of the issues we have here is how the land is owned by the different chiefs. So it's hard to find a large-scale land to invest in. To find a sizable tech startup in Ghana has been challenging. We had an investment pitching session last weekend at British Council, and the size of deals that the entrepreneurs are looking for are much smaller.
Smaller.
They're looking for 50,000 Ghana, which is a cry far, very far from the $1 million amount investors want to invest in. Just last week, the president was talking about countries like Singapore, South Korea,
Right.
Malaysia, and how we used to be the same 60 years ago. So when I look at Ghana, how it is today, and having been to Singapore, having been to Malaysia, we're so far behind. It's almost painful because we gave them palm, and now they're one of the leaders in palm industry. So although we are growing, to see, having gone to Malaysia and Singapore once again, to see where we could have been if policies were put in place, if we had the right governance, the right government at the time, it's heartbreaking.
But don't you think we have the right policies in place, but it's difficult to implement? Don't you think so?
I think if you look at the Asian countries, the tiger economies they call themselves, and now actually with China, one of the reasons they're able to develop so fast is they had a central one-party government. It's not popular, it's not democratic, but those people are allowed to make hard choices. And the issue with Western-style democracies is you voted in for 4 years. So within your 4 years, you have to be popular. You have to make sure that you do things to get you votes in your next term. So rather than doing things that might be painful but necessary, you really think about your party and yourself. So the Malaysias, the South Koreas, the Singapores, the Chinas had a one-party state that helped them progress further.
So do you think we need a state like that?
I think if you look at also the Middle East, for example, if you had a party can think long-term, it will help. Or if we're able to put party politics aside and think about things to do that will benefit Ghana and not the individual's pockets, it will help.
But what will happen? Have you thought of it? What will happen to our democracy if we have a single state? Something like that. What will happen to our democracy?
Has democracy helped us?
Well, in a way, it has.
Yes. So, I guess it's a give and take. Would you rather be as rich as a Singapore or South Korea, or as democratic as a Ghana?
I like that.
If you look at the Middle East, Dubai in the last 15 years has come out of nothing. But it's a ruling family that's going to rule for, next 100 years. But because they know that the country is theirs, decided, I want to make the country great. And UAE now is a wonderful place with both Emirates and Etihad, world-class airlines going there. What do we have to show for our democracy? That is the question.
So for 61 years, we have nothing to show. That's what you're saying.
We have something to show, but how much? Rwanda is now the jewel of Africa. And they had a crazy civil war, which is unspeakable. But yet now the roads are cleaner, the economy is growing. You can register.
What would we
online.
blame all these things on? Is it bad leaders? Is it the people ourselves? What is it? What's the issue?
It's a whole lot of things. It's definitely the people as well. A lot of things in Asia is the attitude to work. Are people willing to work not just for themselves but for the country?
Right.
We have a lot of people who have money to blame as well. As soon as they have money, they build houses in the UK, put money in Swiss banks. So are they doing what they can to develop their country, Ghana? It is the leaders. Are they brave enough to tackle some of the issues they need to tackle? And also, I've heard stories of our oil. We're so proud of the oil we have discovered, but how much of the revenue are we getting as a country? That's a big question to be investigated, I feel.
But Isaac, many Ghanaians have lost hope. You're like, it won't get better. Do you share their view?
I don't. I think it will get better. I think there are lots more young Ghanaians who are more passionate, who are striving. But it's, let's say, if the new system, the new future, the youth are willing to really take the fight on by themselves and not rely on the government, not rely on the people who have money, or if the government and people who have money are willing to change their views and support the future. If you look in Europe right now, the leader of France, the president, Macron is 38. The president of Austria is 31. So it shows that the future can be in the hands of the young leaders of them all. So do we as a youth have the sense, the courage, the confidence to take a stand and make a change and be heard?
That's food for thought. Thank you so much for talking to the Heart. That's Isaac Accra. He's an investor looking for huge investment, right, to invest in especially in agriculture and in tech. We are the Sunset Bakery here at Westlands, and I have the owner himself. How is business? The bakery business, how is it doing?
It's doing good.
Good? Just good?
Yeah, good. Could be better, but I mean, we just finished the holidays and stuff, so it's good.
So we hear that, every day people talk about how hard the economy is, and how are you feeling it in your pocket?
I can agree with some people because the expectations of what people feel is supposed to be is not moving fast as it should be, but I think it's picking up.
But the government promised and said the NPP government promised and said when they come to power, things will get better. They will take us to the promised land. Are we in the promised land? Do you think we are getting there?
Not yet. I won't say we're on the promised land, but I'm actually I'm not a person who listens to the government, and they have their own ways of. Individual too, you have to also put your own effort.
In pulling your efforts, there are some things the government to do, like you going to the market, you need good roads to ride on, things like that. What is lacking? What do you see that is lacking that you go like, you wish the government, act swiftly?
I can say about it most the logistics and products, the way they rise, the cost, it makes everything goes up. From fuel to utilities, you have to factor everything in. And sometimes people complain, but if you also don't adjust.
Kwame, you are talking like life is great and it's perfect and you are okay. Really? How is it for you? How is business really?
For me, business is good. It's not great, but it's good.
What would have made it great? From your expectation.
More sales. Cost of production is cheaper, especially utilities. I'm more concerned about, baking and stuff. You need to use more electricity, water, and so on and so forth. But it's not that cheap. The utilities, it takes much bigger, from our income. So,
but the government said from 15th of March, some tariffs to be, reduced and taken away. So what of that? Is that a sense of relief to you?
It's a start, but actually don't
it's
have
a margin
the figures
small,
yet.
right?
Exactly. And they can say, but we want to see it actually working, on the ground. Oh, I used to pay 200, now it's 150. Then start looking, okay, I think things are getting better.
You think it's just on paper and it's all talk, no action,
exactly.
sort of?
A lot of things, we heard a lot of things, but when you ask, it's in progress.
We have people like you elsewhere in the US, in the UK, in the diaspora. They want to come home. They're like, I don't know how to start. You have done it. What would you tell them?
I told them there's a lot of opportunities in Ghana, but you have to do your homework before you get here. You can't just move in, you just get up and move in like, I'm going to Ghana to settle. You need to do your homework, what you want to do, how it's going to help you, you balance. Sometimes you need to be on both sides. You come, you go, you come, you go until you actually know what you want to do.
Finally, do you think our president has put in the right structures to get Ghana to that place we all wanted to get to?
I think he said a lot, but putting it, I haven't seen nothing yet. They have the idea, implementation is
difficult.
Exactly. You need the whole information and the right people to, execute your plans. So I think they came in like a year now, so we're hoping.
We're hoping. So Ghana will get that. But then what of someone who says, I've lost hope? Ghana won't be that nation we're all looking at. What would you tell them? It's all lost. Do you think all is lost?
No, I don't think so.
All is not lost.
there's
We're going
always
through a
hope.
difficult time, but
Yeah,
you're going through.
there's always hope.
There is so.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all watch it, right? The Kwame watch it.
Kwame Yeboah.
Kwame Yeboah. Thank you so much. That's Kwame Yeboah. He's an entrepreneur, actually. He's into cosmetics. He's into bakery, and there's a restaurant. And he says all is not lost. It will get better. Let's keep over life. You're still watching The Hard Truth. We'll be right back. You're still watching The Hard Truth. Welcome to The Hard Truth. Daniel, tell me, how is the economy of Ghana faring so far?
So far, the economy, it depends on who you are interviewing. For me, I would say that it's not that bad, but you hear others also complaining because it's not the same.
Oh, so everything is fine with you, I'm guessing.
Oh, I will not say everything is fine, but it's good. I mean, it's good. And
Let's compare 2-3 years back to now. I mean, do you see massive improvements in your own life?
obviously, there have been improvement for many years now. But then,
I like that.
but then, of course, there are new measures by the government that obviously will change things. For instance, I know import duties and all that have changed, and obviously it affects goods and services. And so, the way I used to buy things 3 years ago will not be the same today.
Yep.
So of course, I need to spend more, and obviously it will affect my pockets. In that sense, okay. But apart from that, in general, I believe things are working.
No, but if things are working, where is the general complaint coming from? Because you go to the marketplaces, the marketmen are complaining they are not buying things. Why? Because there's no money in the system, hence we can't buy. So where is the complaint, or where are the complaints coming from?
Yeah, the complaint is coming because, of course, there are a lot of measures that have changed the way things used to be. Things change in terms of the as I said, the duty, import duties, and cost of doing business and all that. Obviously, it will affect the way we import, we clear goods, the way we sell, and everything. So it will never be as it used to be.
Right.
Yeah, it will surely go up. It will surely be different from as it used to be.
You are quite hopeful. It's like it's not yet there, but we'll get there.
Yes, I think we'll get there. But I also believe that as time goes on, things will change in terms of the fact that things will not be the same, will never be the same as it used to be.
Aren't we tired? Aren't we like, well, the government says when it comes, we're expecting like rapid changes. But aren't we like tired in thinking that the government deceived us? When are we actually going to see massive improvements? When are we going to feel that change in our pockets?
One thing that really controls the economy is the basic things that we need, like petrol, like the import duty and those things. And the government is also targeting those places, getting his taxes and all his money from there. And the moment you tag those things, obviously the economy, things will go up, things will be difficult for people. And the more those things goes up, the more economically it become difficult for people to also, put themselves together in terms of their pockets and buying and all that. So as I said, things, I'm not sure any government can let things be easy as we want it to be. Yeah.
But they make it look like that.
Yes, they make it look like that because they want the vote, one, and two, they want to tell us what we want to hear. But in reality, that is not how it is. Because I recently I heard on your medium that I think Deputy Minister of Finance was saying that what they say on the campaign platforms are different from what they say in the boardroom. You understand? So, I mean, they tell us what we want to hear, but when they
get the vote and to be voted into.
Yes. So
right.
when they get to the boardroom, then the reality is not there. Because I always tell people that the president will not use his pocket money to run the country. He's going to use the resources that is given to him to run the country. So if he doesn't have the means, how can he run?
What of corruption? corruption is a huge canker, and we hear that we know that there is a special prosecutor in place. What's your take on that?
Yes, I think that it's a good idea and it's a good thing. Corruption is everywhere, and I believe that in other countries or other jurisdictions that we see that they have been able to curtail that. It's not as if it's not there at all, but they have been able to, push it down to the extent that it's very real for you to see. And in those economies, you see that things are working. And here, I believe that it's a good idea, bringing up the special prosecutor and all that. But what it is that though there's a special prosecutor, though there's measures, Yoko is there, Frage is there, and all that. I don't think corruption, as President Kufuor said, will go now. But I think that where they have started.
But don't we need examples? Don't we need to set examples from some cases, so we all are led that when you do this is what happened to you?
Yes. So I think the government needs to set that example. For instance, you hear that somebody have embezzled some money in your government. You use that person as an scapegoat, and then the person go to prison.
So is the process too slow for you?
I think it has been slow because, for instance, when they came to power, they said that people have embezzled some money, and they have left them till 1 year now. By now, they have bequeathed those properties to their children or people that nobody knows. And by the time you get them, they have nothing. And so it's too slow, honestly. Yeah.
What would you say? What advice would you give to the government?
Well, I think that for corruption to really be eradicated, there's a need for all of us or the government to tackle it from his government. Because you cannot tell me that the people in the government now they are not indulging in corruption. I believe that a lot of them are doing corrupt things. We have heard them. Some of them here they said that it's they do things just to let them go and all that. But if it happens like that and they pursue them, they prosecute them and all that, it becomes a yardstick for anybody to see that no, this government is doing well. And when it happens and they take them to Class Staff House and they exonerate them and tell them that they haven't done anything, I think they will just find their way and it will continue. Yeah.
But there is hope. Ghana will get there.
I believe Ghana will get there, but it depends on all of us.
You're still watching The Harsh Truth, and I have with me in the car Ernestina Bojo, right?
Yes.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Where are you a student? What do you do?
Yeah, I'm a student, but I work at Ready-Mart.
Okay, you work as well.
Yes, please.
How are you feeling the country, the economy and everything?
Actually, the economy is very hard.
It's hard?
It's very, very hard. I may say it's very hard because since I completed, there's no any better job for me to do. And
you completed which school?
I completed Winners Senior High at
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's no money in the house for me to continue my education, so I have to do some petty jobs before I can get money, so that if God bless, I can continue. But there's no any better job for me as a senior high graduate for me to do, so I have to just cope with some of my friends so that they will give me some job to do before I can get some money to feed even myself.
But most people are also saying that, well, the economy is fine and that they are feeling it in their pockets, and you being a student from senior high. So what would you expect? Is there anything you would want corporate societies to do for people like you, especially the government? Do you think government should do something special to cater for people like you?
Actually, please, I may say yes, because if the country or if the society is comfortable with them, that's to their side, because they know what they are benefiting from that. And to me, it's not comfortable with me, especially even at my place, a farm place.
Right.
We are finding things very difficult, very, very difficult. Even at times, the way we travel, even our road self is very bad. I may say we need help. Of course, we need some help because we are not comfortable with how things are moving in the society.
And then what can you do? So you're talking about some special help. So I'm thinking, what can a second second school or a high school leaver do? So what were you expecting? Some white-collar job, or what exactly were you expecting?
I was expecting something better than what I'm doing now. But the issue is because of the economy. That's why I'm not getting what I want. And it's so hard to the extent that my parents cannot even afford what they want to get for me. They are trying their best to send me back to school, but the economy seems to be so hard. It seems to be so hard. So I will appeal that the government should look up to some of us, especially we those that are from the villages, from plains, Nkoko, those areas. It's very difficult for us, some of us over there, for us to get something better for ourselves.
So when you hear allegations of corruption, how does that make you feel?
I feel very, very bad. I feel very, very bad. And that's why people are saying it's okay with them, because they know what they are getting from it. And the corruption, it goes on because they want to succeed in their, family lives. They want to get something for their parents or their family. And they will not like to share with all of us because they benefit for their own good.
But Justina, do you believe in Ghana? Do you think Ghana will get better?
I do, but depending on our leaders, yes. Ghana can be far better than this now, but depending on how the leaders are going to make it, that is all.
So for people like you who are in similar positions with, having life very difficult for them and their families and all of that, what would you advise them? Would you tell them to lose hope, or what would you tell them?
No, they don't have to lose hope either, because they need to work hard. They shouldn't depend on the government or even what any other elder would tell them, or they should just work hard, try to get what you are capable in doing and what you want to get, what you want to do in future. That's what you should, try to do. Yeah.
All right. Is there anything you want to advise the government on? What do you expect government to do?
What I expect the government to do is, I'm just pleading with him, at least.
You mean you're pleading with the president, you mean?
Yes, please. And even the elders, the MPs, the DCs, I am appealing. I'm just begging on them. At least, fine, there are responsibilities for him to be doing, but we appeal on him that he should do something better for us. We are actually in need of help, and we want him to help us too. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for talking to the Heart with Nestina. So you heard her. She needs help. Government comes to their aid, and I'm sure there are lots more of such people out there. And are you still watching The Hard Truth? Joseph Hogley, he's a businessman, and he's going to tell us, how he feels or think the economy of Ghana is going. Welcome to The Hard Truth, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Really, how is the economy faring, or our economy faring?
Well, I always say the economy is bad. The beginning of everything is difficult. Anytime you change government, there are all kinds of loopholes and these kind of distortions here and there. Well, to my best, the one thing that has caught everybody now is the free education.
Right.
Either the start is bad or good, it has been started. The same way, I can see also some of the roads have been done. That's my favorite, because I'm a transporter. I need a good road. I can see some of the roads have been done. So, in brackets, the government is like the sun that rays up in the morning. Somebody will feel the sun. When you go to the other side, the other people will also feel it.
Right.
So that's why 50+1 is also the mark. So when I get a 50+1 from the government, I'm okay.
So is it 50+1 as you see it? So,
Yes.
so again, I've been asking this question this evening. Where are the complaints coming from then? So you are talking like, yes, there is a problem, but they've started the solution. So where are the complaints coming from?
Yes, it's like, the same politicians have the way to talk to the public.
Right.
Now, the public also have the way, must find a way to understand them, what they are saying.
No, but if you come and you tell me when you come, or when you campaign and you say, I'm going to do this for you, we expect like that, when you come, things should change.
Yes.
So how do we now change our mindset to know that, it's going to happen, but it's going to be gradual?
Yeah, you can promise something, but in a way, there'll be a problem behind it. Nobody is 100% correct. I grew, as I opened my eyes, when a champion was there.
Right.
And I saw different things. 7 years, everybody has done a bit of it. Today we don't have the railway to Kumasi. the government is trying to do something about it. Everywhere there's something that has failed, and another development is to control it. So it is for us Ghanaians to find out, are we part of the government or is only one person? If we are part of the government, what is our goal? To let the government succeed.
But don't you think the bar stops with an individual? So if Ghana fails, then that means that the president has failed. I mean,
that's where I find it differently. Because let me say it like this: a king does not work. It's the people who work and goes around the king. Those are the people who are supposed to work and feed the king. So now, if the Bible says we should select our leaders and pray for them, what are we praying for? Are we praying for destruction, or are we praying for his goodwill? Are we part of the goodwill? If we are not, what are we doing? What are we failing ourselves to blame one person? Because one person cannot be a doctor. Even God himself didn't design anybody. He said, let us make money in our own media. So let us make the government win. That S in bracket should be part, all of us should be part
plural.
of it.
But in us working, you talked about being in the transport sector. Now, you talked about some roads being fixed. I'm not sure it's a number of roads. When you see the Kwabinya road, it's horrible. Many people are complaining of such bad roads. What about that?
So, again, I'll give you an example. Let's even like nothing. From Nsawam to Suhum.
Right.
I went to Sunutania College. I was to school. When I left that road, that school, 40 years ago, the road had been single road up to today. And that particular road brings billions of revenue to the country. Cocoa, export to Abuja, that's the road they use. But still, the road is single road. So you ask yourself, this is a new government. What are the previous government? How are they using that road? You get it?
Yeah, I get you.
So the chain falls back. You pull the chain from the top and bring it down. In fact, how many people have climbed that chain? So it doesn't become the government of today. So he becomes the repairer today. Tomorrow, if it doesn't finish, the next person will come also become the repairer. So that action is what did you do for somebody to do? You see, if I come to you and say, I have a matches, it's okay, you have a cigarette, so let's smoke together. But if I have the cigarette and I don't have the matches, I cannot smoke it.
Right.
So all of us should be part of the smokers.
But how again would you compare? I mean, being a businessman, do you think business is good now than maybe comparing it to 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
Yes. What I'm trying to see, business today,
right?
As in brackets, there are some inflations in the business where the word Ghana something or Ghana company or Ghana something. Those areas, there are some bracket of political effects. But where individual, I'll give you one. Look at, let me go to transport sector where I'm very good. Have you seen any brand new trotro in town?
Nope.
You can't see it. But before, you can see the GPRHU, you see new cars, they are giving the new cars, the president will be giving the new cars. But it died away. So we see trotros that are falling out and then falling from top and to down. People are dying on it. You see? So that side, because it was left, the continuation of putting replenishing the new cars failed. You see? So we still have the same GPR2, Protra and Co running. So that side, there's a failure there.
I see.
There's no support. Because the charges the banks are charging cannot let the person buy the trotro and put investment there. All they do work for the bank. So you see that the bank will come and seize the car and get from you. So until I'll give you an example of what I'm trying to say. Seriously, the economy is growing, but the banks are milking the economy.
With high interest rates.
High interest rates. Let me give you a time. During Rollins time, I remember that I borrowed at Accra Commercial Bank. I borrowed money 38,000 cities. And then I paid 50%, the charge was 50%, but the length, the borrowing, the bank buying the money to was 45. So you finish your money and finish put 45, and then borrow at 50. So the gap is 5.
Right.
So if I borrow money at 50 and I'm going to do investment, my first cost is 5%.
Right.
So my next cost could be my operational cost. But today,
huge.
They are buying money at 10% and 12% at treasury bill, and selling at 27, 28, and 31. You see the gap.
Yeah.
So you see corners, banks flowing in every corner. That's the latest today, and that becomes killing the economy indirectly. You are suffering. The banks are suffering. The money
But don't you think that is also dependent on how much government borrows from the bank?
Yeah, no. For me, I would say government borrows because everybody want to do something. The government want to do something. But if government is borrowing, and the other banks are also, the gap between the borrowing and the treasury bill is too high. It means that the government also will not be able to pay the loans quickly. So you will charge it back to us to pay in another form. I said, okay, if you are drinking water, you are paying 1 cedi per a ton of water. Tomorrow pay 5 cedi because I borrow money somewhere. I want to pay.
We want to give Ghana hope. So, in your opinion, do you think all is lost for Ghana? Is it lost? Do we have hope? Will we get there? Will it be like a Singapore? Will it be like a Dubai? Can we get there?
But I don't think Dubai as a town. It's a south town. Ghana is very nice. You know, when you travel outside, you come back home, you see the taste of the smell of Ghana. Ghana is very nice. But what we need to do, are we all focused to run the country as per we are building our nation, not politically disturbing it? If you do something today because it's black, I say it's not me, it's not bad. If this one does, you say no, because it's this one, it's not good. If you take that bracket away, we will train our children to come up so that they will focus on Ghana, not focus on political parties and I would say political parties. Focus on the country is different from focusing on a political party. I get it. If you focus on political party, it will only last for 4 years or maybe 8 years. But when you focus on a country, your great-grandchildren, you're focused on them. So that's where we need to look at that. Am I focusing on my great-grandchildren or focusing on the political party, which will last 4 years and 8 years?
8 years.
Than to focus on the country and make it. Look at this education, free education. Everybody is now going to school. When I go to villages, I see somebody with a child is going to school. You see, it's a move. That move has started. And the way I would, it's a taxpayers' money. We used to feed in this, turn it to. If you dodge, you also get a program. I get it.
Yeah.
But because the country can grow.
So we get there. So for those who have lost hope, we will get there.
Yes.
Ghana will get there.
Let's all focus that this is where we want to get. But we shouldn't focus on some individual party and say, oh, that party can do it, can't do it. If you have party B or party C, see what is good and present it, because free talk, everybody can speak.
Right.
You can also speak and or take
So it's a movement. Let's all move together to build Ghana.
If that movement is not there, political movement, then we have a problem. I pity the young guys coming today. You finish your university, you finish your masters, then you go and sell Kelewele.
What's wrong with being an entrepreneur and selling that?
Fine. But you are selling Kelewele and you are living good. Some politician comes tomorrow, he says, I saw I was selling Kelewele. Let's try to go and bring it on Chinese and move it from there. You see, then the growth of the country by the people is little.
So we should give the young ones opportunity.
I'm a driver. I'm a truck driver. I'm proud of it. Today I'm driving my Lexus. You see, I've employed people. I am paying them. God has lifted me from that seat to another seat for people to enjoy. What somebody also
So we should promote entrepreneurship
yes,
more. Let's promote
and
that.
not just kill that because this one is party, you want to kill him. This one is party, you want to kill him. No, that will not make the country go forward.
Move together, promote entrepreneurship is what
Yes.
you're saying. All right. Thank you so much for talking
Thank
to
you.
me. My friend Hogley, what's his name
Yes.
again? Hogley.
Yes.
Joseph Hogley.
Yes.
Joseph Hogley says it should be a mass movement. Let's move together. Let's promote entrepreneurship in Ghana. Well, very soon. Thanks so much for watching this evening, and then thanks to everyone who spoke to the hard truth tonight. And catch a repeat of the program tomorrow morning. It's at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And you can send your questions or comments to social media platforms on your page right now, on your screens right now. You've been watching The Hard Truth, and we are proudly brought to you by Murphy Homes, Dawa Industrial City, and Pulse Fitness Ghana. My name is Nana Akosia Kunedu Asante Samuels. Have a good night.